Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jackson. Today's episode, we're joined by a very special guest, Muskegon Voyagers goaltender Devon Lay of the Michigan Independence Hockey League. He spent the last 2 years there. This is his second year with Muskegon, and before that, he spent time at Byron Center High School for high school in Michigan. So, really excited to get Devon on. He's been my goalie partner for last year. He was my goalie partner in Muskegon. He's taken over the reins now, so excited to see that. But welcome to the show, Devon Lay.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on. Should be a good time today.
Oh
Kind
yeah,
of went
for
over my profile, so
for sure. It's always a good time, and yeah, thank you again for coming on. But you're
yeah,
from Byron Center, Michigan. So like, what was it like growing up in Michigan to start things off?
yeah. Growing up in Michigan was obviously growing up in Michigan in general is just always hockey. It's winter sports. You
Yeah,
get snow all over the place, and it's just winter sports, whether it's hockey, snowboarding, or I don't know, whatever else there may be. And so when I was, growing up in Byron Center, I was started playing about 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old, somewhere in there. My dad was building a rink in my backyard every year, so I would go out and skate, and that's kind of how I started getting into the sport. Um, and then, I mean, honestly, Byron Center grew to. We started without a team, a hockey team, when I was in seventh grade, I want to say, and then by the time I got into high school, they finally had a high school team. So that was a big step in the right direction to the hockey community in Byron Center, and it's continuing to grow too in the Fox Motors um, organization. They do a really good job over there. They have some really good players. So it was a good place to grow up, and a lot of hockey guys in school too. So
yeah, and you have like good organizations like Fox Motors, like you said, and like all like you hear of like all the Little Caesars and all that and Victory Honda, like stuff like that, like very good organizations within the state of Michigan. So like what
yeah.
organizations did you grow up playing when you first started playing?
I do remember a little bit about Little Caesars. They were always sick. I mean, they pull players from Detroit, and those
Yeah.
Detroit organizations are really good. I remember playing those guys, so they were always good. Um, Honestly, a little bit of Bell Tire I remember too. Um, they were pretty good too. Um, but yeah, I mean, Little Caesars was always nasty. There was I want to say a Farmington Hills team. I can't remember the organization name, but they were really good too. I mean, all those East Side teams were pretty sick. So growing up playing against those guys creates a competitive nature in you.
Yeah.
It creates a really good, a better environment because you're not playing crappy teams that are barely can put up a goal. You're playing really good teams that know how to play hockey, and they've got good players. So it was definitely a good organization to grow up in Fox Motors, with where they were playing at.
Yeah. What were some of like your youth hockey, like your favorite memories growing up that really made you like fall in love with the game and want to like continue to play?
Honestly, so my first fall in love with story, I'll say, is going from player to goalie, actually. I went to a goalie camp out in Muskegon when I was a young kid. I was maybe 9 years old, 10 or something like that. And it was with my older cousin who actually was a goalie at Grand Valley, not too, well, probably 8 or 9 years ago now. Um, and I strapped on the pads one of the days just to play, in a game that we had. And I was like, dude, like I want to do this now. Like, I don't want to be a player. I want to be a goalie. And so that helped me fall in love with the game, so much more than where I was playing. Um, Most of the time I was playing defense, but when I switched that role, I was like, dude, I love it. I mean, game in and game out, I was having so much fun playing as a goaltender. Um, it was Man, it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
What made you fall in love with being a goalie? Like everyone's like, why would you want to be a goalie? Like you're crazy. Like
yeah.
what's your story that's like why you really love being a goaltender?
No, that's a good question too. I mean, kind of that same story, but honestly, like just stopping pucks was what I wanted to do. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, like not many people want to do this, and this is, I fell in love with it. I was like, dude, this is where I want to be at. I want to be stopping pucks. I don't really care about scoring goals. I want to be, I see these crazy saves on NHL, and it's just like, dude, that's what I want to be doing. Like that's the kind of stuff I want to be doing in those situations. It's just that's what made me fall in love with playing goaltender is those clips growing up too helped a lot. It was like seeing these massive glove saves or pad saves or whatever, and you're just like, dude, like I want to do that. And so that helped me fall in love with the position so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's everyone's story is just the
Yeah.
the saves and just like the absolute crazy windmills that you see in like these
Oh yeah.
highlights and yeah, like those are and like you get to design your own pads, like custom pads, like
Hmm.
design your own mask too.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like I like that's kind of like the whole reason I fell in love with the position too is I tried it when I was from a buddy with because he was playing high school at the time and then he's like, you should try. So I was like, yeah, I'll try. And ever since then, stopped the first puck and loved it ever since. And gotta be flashy a couple times here and there. Like
Yep.
gotta make the big save, the big windmill. But it's like stopping the puck. You're out there for the whole 60 minutes. And yeah, I love the pressure too. Like the pressure is like you can change the game at any point, like make a unreal save, like change the momentum, and you guys come
Yep.
back and score and go on a little heater too.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. The pressure is something I live for, to be honest. I mean, in playoffs last year, I played so much better because of the pressure than
Yeah,
I did in the regular season. And like, I don't know, the pressure just it makes me so much better. I don't know what it is, but it makes me more competitive and want to be a better player. So yeah, I do agree with that side of things for sure.
yeah, and like it just makes you want to be better because like you're like oh
Exactly.
like it's just especially in playoffs like it's a whole different intensity. Everything
Uh-huh.
means a lot more, and you just
Yeah.
gotta find that energy. It's like I want to speak on the like those that playoff run as well. Like you went on that playoff run with Muskegon last year
Mhm.
when you won the championship in game five of the championship round and you won the Bill Memorial Trophy. Like what was that whole playoff series like, playoff round and just going throughout playoffs and it with a championship?
Yeah, I mean it was a great experience, I'll say. I've been to playoffs in high school, but I usually wasn't the one playing. Whereas, in the MIHL, I was actually playing. Even in that Detroit series when we first played them, the first round, like I was making some decent saves and just having a good time out there, honestly. Trying to focus on my game, just playing it, playing better and better each game that we went along. Going into that championship series against Waterford, I was a little bit nervous. Of course, you got to put up some good performances to be in
Yeah.
a championship and win a championship. And yeah, it was. I mean, it was so much fun. But every game, I think I just got better and better, just progressed better and better, and just tried to be the best player that I can to change games, like you said, change the perspective or the momentum of games to keep our team in it too. And shout out to you because you came in for a couple games too in playoffs. So that definitely helped me kind of get my head right too and just see what you were doing. Just be like, yeah, this is what I need to be doing and making these saves. So that helped me quite a bit too. So
Yeah. There's never a doubt that Muskegon wasn't going to win the championship last year.
yeah.
Even after like that game one, like I know it was a close one,
Yep.
and then we won game two, and then you took over from that point on in game three, four, and five, and there was never a doubt. Like I knew you were ready. I knew you were gonna do it, and the performances before that was stellar as well. So like what was that whole playoff series like? Because it does, like you said, it's a little nerve-wracking because it's your first like time in the championship, and then in like semi-pro in the pro ranks. It's like what was that whole championship series like, and then getting to game five and it's do or die at that point.
Man, I mean, yeah, getting that championship series was super exciting. Even just after, like, even after playing, who we played in the first round, like knowing, we're playing Detroit and they're not the greatest team. Um, you know, we're, we get into the championship round. I mean, it was exciting. It was really it it was eye opening too because even though it's semi-pro, it's still an intense game, and it's still, there's people watching you, and you got eyes on you and pressure on you.
Yeah.
And so it was definitely eye-opening. But yeah, man, going into that series was nerve-wracking, but it was exciting for sure. I think for all the guys too, not just myself. Whether they were, new to the league or if they've been playing for so long, it's an exciting thing to be in playoff hockey, especially in the championship of anything. So it was definitely exciting. But going into that game five was a little bit nerve wracking. But I will say I think I was the most confident in game four and five than I was throughout the whole year. I had more confidence in those two games in my own play than I had throughout the whole year. And I think in goaltending, confidence is one of the biggest parts, because if you don't have confidence, I mean, you can't really make saves. So confidence really helped me a lot in the playoffs. Helped me make those certain saves and make those games and change the momentum. It really helped with playing well and
Yeah.
how I did. So yeah.
Yeah. And it goes all the way to overtime too in that game five. Like
Yeah.
how
That was
nervous were you in
yeah,
in
that
overtime
was
there?
I was pretty nervous in overtime there. I didn't have a doubt in my mind that we would win, but I had a couple of saves in overtime where I was like, oh, a little bit
Yeah.
nervous, kind of thinking about it. But and soon, as soon as Hawk put that last goal in, I was just kind of
There's
relief
no
came
other
over me a
guy.
little
There's
bit.
no other guy that was gonna do it than Hawk.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, he's the guy. He's Mr. Game Five. He won us the chip, so that was a great moment for him and for our team. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely nerve wracking going into OT of Game Five. I mean, that's exactly what you want, though, right? You want
That's as far
competition
as you can
and
go in the whole entire season.
exactly. Yeah.
Overtime, game five,
Yep.
unreal.
Exactly. Yeah, and it was so exciting. It was so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah. What
So.
was that whole like after that went in? Like was the like the holding the trophy, like everything, like what was the feeling like?
Oh, dude, it was awesome. It was magnificent. No, yeah, it was great. I mean, I all had smiles on our faces, knowing that we won another chip and getting to hold the cup. It was pretty awesome. Just a great experience. Um, and just something I'm grateful for. Not everybody gets the opportunity to play hockey at such a high level.
Yeah.
And so, getting to do those things and win a championship is really it's exciting, but it's a big thing. Not everybody gets to do that. And so I'm grateful for having that opportunity and for getting that opportunity to win those games. So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's huge and such a good memorable time. And like you said,
Yeah.
like not everyone gets to experience playing at such a high level. So you gotta be grateful and blessed for the opportunities. And but you also talked about
Mhm.
like finding your like the mindset throughout playoff time. And like you said, I came in
Yeah.
for that one game to and like you were able to really reset and get your mind back into it. So like
Yep.
how important was that mindset? Was that opportunity to get your mindset right and just because the mindset is such an important part of goaltending.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, it was definitely super important. I think without that, I wouldn't have played as well as I did. When you have in the back of your mind, oh, it's almost like bringing yourself down. Like, hey, I'm not good enough to be playing in this position. It's the opposite of confidence, and that's exactly
Yeah.
what you don't want as a goaltender. And so that little reset where I was like, all right, you know what, I can do this. I got this. Just gave me a little bit of confidence boost and gave me the confidence to be a better player and just play in those pressure driven situations. where I actually played well rather than folding under the pressure.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a big turning point for me, keeping my head straight and or getting my head straight, and just keeping it straight after that. So
Yeah, and like it's a long season
yeah,
ahead, and like what did you learn from the regular season going into playoffs? Because it was your first year in the mill last year. So like what do you have to learn throughout that whole season and to get put in a spot like you did, like and succeed under the pressure and everything, like you had to obviously learn a lot, and you
yeah.
obviously put it all to use as well.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely learned quite a bit. I know in the mill, it's every game could be different. You don't know who's going to show up. You don't know who's not going to show up.
Yeah,
There could be I don't know 20 guys on the bench. Well, not actually, but um, there could be 20 guys on the bench or five,
yeah,
and you never know who's going to show up. The only thing you can do is just show up yourself and just be the best teammate you can. um, and I've learned quite a bit about that too. Is just being a good teammate, whether you're playing or not. Being a good teammate is a big thing because it helps the team grow as a family, and helps everybody else around you. Not putting them down really gives them confidence. Like, oh, okay, like you guys believe in me, kind of
yeah,
thing. So that's a big thing I learned. It's more important to put people up and give them confidence and say, hey, you know what? Don't worry about that last play. Let's go get another one here, whatever it may be. It's really important to keep confidence in your own teammates and just lift them up and make sure that they know, hey, you're not playing bad. Just let's just keep hustling and goals will come to us.
yeah,
Saves will come to us, whatever it is. So that was a big thing I learned. Um, Other thing I learned though too is, I mean, you never know when you're going to go into. There could be situations where we're down a couple or whatever it may be, and coaches telling you to go in. You're like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Going in cold is not easy. So
yeah, no,
it's a head thing too. You got to keep yourself prepared, whether you're on the bench or not. You got to keep yourself prepared, and it's a big mind game, to be honest with you. But if you have your mind right and if you have your mindset right, you'll play well either way, whether you're on the bench or not. So
yeah, for sure. And like it's also like you also got to be loose too, because you play better when you're loose and you're not so stressed and
exactly.
everything. Like I know like during TV timeouts we'd like joke around and stuff like that and just like keep it loose. So like that's always good because
Exactly. Yeah.
when it's in your zone, like it does get intense, but like when you have time to breathe and just relax, like it makes everything so much easier and you get dialed
Yeah.
back in so much easier to dial it back in when you go back on to those intense situations.
Exactly. Yeah. It keeps your ease of mind, it makes you more calm and just more confident and comfortable. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But you're in your second year in Muskegon right now. So how are things going with year two in Muskegon right now?
Going good. I will say I think our team is getting better for sure. We have some things to work on, but we'll get there eventually. There's some new teams in the league too, and I'm hopeful for the league because a couple of these new teams are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I know we haven't played Kalkaska yet, but I've heard they're pretty good. And the Michigan Shadow, we already played them, and they were a great team. So I'm excited for the future of this league, and it should be very opportunistic for other players too. Hopefully, if Fed players get sent down or whatever, whoever joins the league, I think it'll just keep getting better and better and growing a little bit, here and there, year by year. So, um, yeah, so far so good, but do have some things to work on in Muskegon, I'd say. So,
Yeah, but like you said, like the new Shadow team, like a lot of Fed players and high
yep,
quality caliber players are on that team. So like what was it like playing against them and like we talked about earlier, you played in front of 1,300 fans
yeah.
in the mill in Big Boy Arena. Like what was that whole atmosphere like?
Yeah, it was a super cool experience. I think that's one of the first times I've actually played in front of that many people. Um, so it was quite an experience. Um, you know, the announcers telling the players or announcing the players when they come on the ice, that was pretty cool too. They had a whole
Yeah.
ceremony for that, announcing the whole team. So that was pretty sweet. But yeah, the whole experience was really cool. It was one of a kind, I'd say. Something that you would see in the Fed, obviously, but
Yeah.
down here in these leagues, you don't see that very much. And so 1,300 fans showing up to a game like that is really important for the league and the team that hosted. So it was a cool experience. I don't think it was our greatest game that we played. Definitely, some things we could have done differently, but um, ultimately we'll get there when we play them again. I know we'll rise to the challenge. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, it's a whole different experience when you have that many fans in the
Yeah.
building, and when you're playing high caliber players like that as well, like guys that played Fed SB, like even higher than
Mhm.
that too. Like it's a whole different experience, and when you get the building packed, like
Yep.
there's nothing that beats it. Like you play off that energy even as an away
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. You're totally right.
Yeah, but that's awesome that the year's starting out good and you're still like everything. It's the beginning of the season, so everything is like everyone's still
Yeah.
trying to get used to each other and
Yep.
build chemistry there. But that's good that you're starting out solid. But
Yeah.
I want to hop into high school a little bit here. Like, what
Okay.
was like your high school hockey experience? I know you went to Byron Center High School. So like, what was high school hockey like for you?
It was a lot of fun. We were practicing every day, so that obviously a lot of ice time per week. It helped me grow into a much better player from the beginning to the end of high school, and even to now too. All that skating and all the ice time that we got made me into
Yeah.
a much better player. Um, so yeah, and we were playing good caliber teams too. I mean, we were playing Heartland. We were playing like GRCC, which they're pretty good. Um, playing East Grand Rapids, playing some East Side teams too. Like I said, Heartland, Salem. We were playing. We played Flint Powers, um, Brother Rice. Some of those teams too. And so they weren't just easy games that we would go into and just win them. They were tough teams that we were playing from the east side and the west side too. They weren't
Yeah.
easy games, and every year that we played got harder and harder. Our schedule was harder and harder because we were getting better. And so that definitely shaped not only myself, but I think all the players on the team a little bit of a better hockey player because it was so much competitiveness that we were playing against. Everybody wanted to win, and it created just a competitive environment where everybody wanted to win both sides. Um, so it was a good experience for sure. We went to the state championship a couple times. I want to say my sophomore and my senior year, we went to the state championship, and that was a super cool experience. Going all the way to USA Hockey Arena, it was really cool. Lots of fans there, I will say. Um, but yeah, it was a really good experience in those playoffs, going all the way that far.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's huge. Like what is that experience like going to the state championship and like it's a whole different atmosphere. Like you're playing in USA Hockey Arena, like you said, and it's a
mm,
whole different atmosphere and the competition is a lot better because it means more as well.
yeah, for sure. Excuse me. Yeah, it was definitely a lot better. Obviously, the further we went, the better it got. But those experiences were something I'll hold on to forever, because they're kind of one of a kind. Playing in high school, you don't get a lot of those opportunities, even if you're playing travel hockey. You don't really get a lot of those opportunities, and especially going to a state championship twice. I mean, that's a big opportunity and something that not a lot of people get. And so it created a lot of competitiveness, like I said, but it was great experiences, something
Yeah,
uh, that everybody enjoyed as a team, even not even just the games, but like in the hotels, just hanging out,
it's the
whatever.
best part.
Yeah, exactly. Getting some food or whatever it may be. It was some good experiences that we had all together. So, yeah, it was super cool in the state championship. I will say USA Hockey Arena is probably one of the nicest rinks I've been to. Obviously, USA Hockey plays there, so it's gonna be a nice rink. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. Walking out under that little banner that they have there. It was super cool. A bunch of fans cheering you on, and there's multiple different divisions, so there's not just the one game. I think there's three games, and so you're not just the one game, but
Yeah.
um, there's people from the game after or the game before that are still watching you a little bit. And so there's a big crowd, and it's a great atmosphere there, and just a great opportunity for high school hockey players to play there. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Such a good experience for you and everyone else, and that's in that tournament. It's like what's some advice like you've done had a lot of cool experiences so far over the course of your career. So like what's some tips and advice you'd give younger players looking to get to that next level, or like advice on like development just throughout like the different leagues that guys go through.
yeah, that's a good question. I mean, really, the best thing you can do is just train. How you want to get to that next level is going to be training. Whether it's you're hitting the gym, doing some athletic training, or doing weights, or if you're on the ice doing skating drills, whatever it may be, that's where your bread and butter is. If you want to get to the next level, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You're going to be on the ice every day. You're going to be in the gym every day. You're going to be working hard. And if you want to get to the next level, then that's where you want to be, is in those situations of the gym and on the ice, just doing those workouts to keep yourself a better player. So
Yeah, that those are big pieces of advice, and you just gotta dialing in on like the simple stuff, though, like the little details, like the extra stuff is what's gonna separate you from everyone else. And once like you dial in on those, like your weaknesses become your strengths, and you just keep pounding out the strengths and weaknesses just to keep getting them better and better, and be a full complete goaltender throughout
yeah,
the week, throughout like the year. Like you'll be a better goaltender by the end of the year.
yep, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but you did attend a couple free agent camps this year in the Feds. Like, what were some of those experiences like for you, and just to get your name out there in the Fed?
Yeah, it was really good actually. Those experiences were great. I mean, there's some really good kids out there, even at those tryouts, that they were really good. Some good goaltenders as well too. I saw you there at the PD skate. So some good goaltenders, good skaters. Just it was a little eye-opening to see, the difference between mill players and Fed players. Um, but yeah, it was a really good experience to go out and just to get my name out there too. Was kind of part of the reason I went out, is just to get my name out there, and um, you know, just make sure people know it. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a whole different experience when you go out and like play with really solid players, and
yeah,
like
for
it
sure.
shows you how small the margin is for error, and
Hmm.
how small the margin
Yeah,
is for who makes the team and who doesn't.
yep, exactly.
Yeah, but I think this is a great place to wrap this episode up. I know you gotta get going here soon. So Devo, thank you again for coming on the show. I really
Yeah,
appreciate your
for
time,
sure.
and want to wish you the best of luck with Muskegon, and go win another ship, one for the thumb.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Jacko. Good luck in Worcester. I know you've been playing pretty well down there for yourself. So good luck there. Hopefully you'll make it into a Fed team this year sometime. So I wish you luck in that journey.
Yeah, you as well, bro. So it's always fun with you, always a grind, and just
Yeah,
gotta enjoy the journey.
exactly. Yep, you got that right. Yeah, that's how it goes. So